Hello there everyone, Mark 3 and welcome to a pilot episode of Industries of Titan. Yes. What is Industries of Titan? It is set in the future. We are on Titan, moon of Saturn. We are basically coming here to try to recolonize the place because there was a colony here but it failed. Basically. So the corporations have come, they've said, you know what, we still want the resources of Titan, we're going to take it over and we'll get it. So it's post-apocalyptic, it's dystopian, it's actually cyberpunk. So it's a nice mash. Actually, just mash in general, I think, describes Industry of Titan pretty well. It's a mash of all kinds of things. Just normal difficulty because we're just going to chilling out here for this thing, so select start. There's a plan for new factions, which are the group that's going to be trying to colonize. But we've only got the one right now, the Landfallers. Going to confirm these guys. Gives our starting set. But the description is basically Gold Rush group. Hopefuls for across system, people who dreamed big and have probably tasted failure. Have a common hyper-capitalistic culture. Landfallers are motivated by their perilous position and the powerful rewards of success. So, Gold Rush, as I said, like, they're risking everything to come and try and make a go of it. So yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Just confirm that. And there are some different types of grants available. So pioneering is like you're in a very unsettled area for the most part. It's mostly rocks. There's not very much rebel activity. There's a lot of lakes and things. Or there's a very dense urban centre which has a lot of resources in it. But it also has a lot of rebel activity, which is the current end game goal of the game. Just like defeat the rebels, apparently. Oh, we're just going to go for the average low-risk land grant. So normal, normal, normal. We're going to be boring. We're going to be normal. So yeah, let's see. Ionian Incorporated, that's us. So we're going to say that. We've got the ready thing going on. We are ready to launch. I am fine with all that. No active pause. I'm not going to activate hardcore mode, but we'll launch. Farewell, corporate station. We're going down to the surface of Titan now. Mind you, we've not heard the last corporation by any stretch, but yeah. Sadly, there's a bit of a load screen here, so I'm going to cut the load screen out for the most part, and I'll see you when we get down there. Yes. Okay, here we are. I like the loading screens in this game. It's one of the few examples of lore we get. So I wish there was a way to access the information here without like having to watch the load screen over and over, but here we go. On Titan, vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic are physically separated. This increases the efficiency of road use, but also exposes pedestrians to large amounts of atmospheric pollution. Roads only got implemented like last week, roughly. So they're still in their most basic form at the moment. We can use transport trucks to help speed up moving materials around, but that's about it. Though, fair warning, whenever I actually drop into the game, the landing sequence always seems to lag a little bit for me, so if there is lag there, it's just because Industry of Titan is early access. So here we go. Especially at the start.
Is glad to see you. We have significant investments riding on your success. I hope you'll live up to our expectations.
Yeah, as in their expectations. My expectations don't matter because they are the corporation, they are in control. As I said, dystopian. You can also see that this is all literally ruins from the previous colonization effort that failed, so either the people got evacuated or this is a massive graveyard. I'm not entirely sure which. Oh dear. But yeah, there are a few things that I've tried to keep in mind, so I do need to mention. Right, as I just said a few moments ago, Industry of Titan is in early access. I should also mention, by the way, that one of the few... I wouldn't call it a misstep. One of the more controversial things the Ninja Titan has done is it was originally marketing on Steam, but it's actually gone into Epic exclusive. Yes, I know, boo, Epic sucks, all that jazz. But from what I'm seeing, I think that Epic exclusive is mostly just going to cover early access period while the game is in active development, and then it's going to reappear on Steam when the year exclusive runs out. So it's not actually that bad, all told. When it comes to Steam, it'll be in a much better state than it first arrived on Epic, and a much better state than it is in now. And let's be fair, there are some bugs. It's early access, but that is all okay, really. Dismantling up here, move resources down here. I prefer to have extraction and salvage above survey, just to prioritize things. So yeah, you can prioritize what your tasks, what your workers will try and do for you. That's what I was just doing there, just shuffling the priorities around a little bit. I can adjust them anytime, and as you saw, there is a more advanced version as well. So just specific tasks, I can tell them to do in what order, and they'll try and do that. But yeah, it's early access, so there's a lot of features planned, which will expand the game a lot more. But right now it is a skeleton of a game. A fully serviceable game, and I've seen many games released full, hit full release in roughly this state, if I'm going to be honest, with exactly this level of depth to them. And Initiative Titan is barely scratching the surface right now. So, what have we got? We have got a city builder where we are gathering resources to expand our city while fending off incoming hostile forces, or we're just chilling out and building if we've decided not to have hostiles. And yeah, we're just trying to manage that and sustain our city through the use of power, which is produced from fuel, and we also try not to poison our people to death with our own noxious emissions. So already there's some levels of complexity here. However, we move on from there. Initiative Titan is going to be full-on simulator. Your citizens are going to need feeding, they're going to need happiness, they're going to need paying, all that kind of stuff. There's factory elements here, there's going to be conveyors are going to be added in future updates, there's going to be material refining, there's going to be... just pause here because I'm waffling on. There's going to be, I said more materials, more complexity, so that kind of thing. There's going to be ship-on-ship combat. There's going to be ship design for your ship-on-ship combat. That's, I think, in one of the upcoming closer features, honestly, because it's next in the development list. But yeah, this game is going to be a whole mash of different things into one big city simulator. It's not going to be on the scale of like, what was it, City Skylines, but it's doing its own thing, and I think it's doing its own thing very well. But we are here, we are starting off, and we're doing this pilot episode. So, yeah, I failed to mention, by the way, this is like my 4th attempt at recording to start doing a series on this. The other 3 all went wrong for various reasons. Not the game's fault, well, except for the first one, but that was like 3-4 weeks ago. But yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to start with internal layout. Some buildings have internal structure, internal build space. So you can get external versions, which are usually like cheaper, but they're not as effective. Or you can build inside some structures and you'll get denser things, which are great for space in your overall cityscape, but they have issues. So as you can see, this is my first floor, and there are more floors I could add to this thing, which I'm going to do. First things first, though, I do need more materials, which I get from, well, breaking all these ruins. Oh, I didn't survey you. Survey you. Let's see. 3 red artifacts, 32 minerals. There's a ton of materials there, but artifacts are very, very valuable. Artifacts are what you turn into people. Oh, yes, this one's salvage. This one is also pretty good, salvage. That one is okay. It's only a little bit, but there's no artifacts, so just salvage that one too. So I'll just crack it open. I can only crack open stuff in my own controlled territory, but I can spend my influence with the council, the corporate overlords who oversee me, and I must obey their every word and whim. Please be merciful, O great masters watching me from the sky. I can use that to gain control of territory plots, and then decide what to do with them from there. So like I could harvest mineral fields. I can take control of these other structures that I've surveyed, but I can't do anything else to until I own the area. I can take over these empty plots, you know, that kind of thing. But there we go. That's our source of materials for until I can get something more permanent in place. But it's still going to be the main thing. So my workers break it down. They bring the materials back. And I get that in my initial storage, but it's now full. So the expansion can begin. Yes. I've got some options here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a big storage installed. Let my people build it up like that. So you can see they all run around in here, they do the thing. And then I'm actually going to multi-purpose things, because one of my choices is I could specialize. I'm gonna scrap this one, so let's dismantle this one. I could specialize the floors. Like sometimes I like to have the space floor purely for storage, just because it gives me a nice big storage area. But I've worked out that the fastest start possible is if I multi-purpose the floors of my central headquarters and just pack a little bit of everything in here and then expand outwards. So, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a big power gen just there, because I've got the minerals for it now. I'm going to install a industrial outlet which allows this floor to transmit power to other floors or to power relays or that kind of thing. And we also need batteries for storage for if my power gets overtaxed. So I think I'm going to install that there. And then we need fuel to run this generator. We don't have any. So I'm going to install a big fuel generator just there. And because that battery is a little bit locked in, I'm going to prioritize that to get it built first. So we're already starting to make progress. Very tasty. Continuing, I'll tell you to build another storage there. Oh, that was a mistake. Right, I forgot. I actually need a relay between the outlets and the generator, so I'm actually going to cancel that fuel tank for a moment and scrap the battery. Hey, I'm only human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not the perfect machine the corporate overlords want. Though I admit that is the first time I've forgotten to install an NG relay. So, yeah. But there we go. NG relay, fuel fab. It will take up blocks already there as pre-placed, so it's not. I'm not losing too much by doing that to it. And they've run out because they've actually transported in everything they can into the storage, so that's already done. So that's that. My power relay allows a little bit there for a battery, which I am going to install. I'm going to install a bigger one this one. And then I'm going to install a small fuel storage tank, just there to be sure. And we're going to continue as just generalizing a little bit. We're going to put another medium storage in here. And then the last and most important thing is I want waste receptacles, because waste is something we have to manage as well. Our population, well, not our workers, not these guys, but our civilian population produces waste. So I need somewhere to store it before later disposing of it when I become able to do so. So that's the thing. But yeah, this one can store minerals. This one, how much you can hold? 36. I'll set you for minerals as well, and this one can only hold isotopes. Yes. But the reason why waste is important to deal with and store is because as long as there's waste on these plots, I can't actually build a structure onto them. I can start building a structure, but I can't finish it as long as the waste stays there. So I have to stash it, I have to get rid of it, I have to do something with it, and that'll start. But I'm going to extract you, and 3 for 32, that is massively weighted towards the artifacts. Even though 32 minerals and 2 isotopes is a huge amount of resources to start with. I'm going to check the next ones. You okay? No. You're going to be extracted as soon as I take control of you. You're going to be extracted as well. 15 minerals for 1 red artifact. Definite trade. Ooh, here we go. 32. Yes. By the way, something that is included in this game is, see these icons? Yellow means mixed. It's got materials and waste. If it's got a little red dot on it, that means it's got artifacts in there. And this one is a stinking pile. That means it's purely waste in that structure. If I don't want what's in the structure, I can just choose to destroy it. That is entirely an option if there's no artifacts there. So I can choose to just get rid of a structure. There is also a pure coloured one if the structure only holds resources, but it turns out I don't have any of those nearby. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one, though, just to get the extra minerals, because minerals I need. But to upgrade, I need isotopes. So isotopes I need 2. I've just not really got any yet. Ooh, very little for 3. I think I'm going to have to go for one of these bigger structures to get any kind of isotopes in my initial area. This is kind of unfortunate, but it's 60 for 5, but 15 isotopes. Oh, that's a painful one, that. This one, though, same size structure, 12 isotopes, 66. Big chunk of waste, but no artifacts to worry about, so I'm going to claim you and salvage you. It's a bit far away. That's going to slow me down a bit, but I will, however, do some advanced prioritizing and tell my people to move isotopes before minerals, because isotopes are what I want first. So as soon as that gets scrapped down, I'll get my isotopes. Now, there are some things I didn't want to touch on, but because I record like my style is stream of consciousness, quote unquote, things get out of order, things get mixed up. So I was going to mention this like a good 15 minutes ago, but I said this is a pilot episode because I'm not sure if you guys want to see more of this game or not. Yes, I've got enough isotopes. I'm going to upgrade. It starts immediately. This is based on 3D printing technology, by the way. These things, advanced 3D printing to make nano lattices of minerals and isotopes to build the structures. That's another one of the loading screen tips in there. Nice little bit of lore. But this is a pilot episode, so I'm hoping you guys will give me a little feedback, like if you want me to continue running the series or not, in the comments. The other thing I wanted to mention is one of the reasons I'm doing this game is because, well, I went into a little break for about this last week. You know, depression and then pain, and there's like a whole bunch of things, so I wound up not putting out content. But I did get 2 interesting pieces of feedback around this time. The first one was that Damus came to me and said that he actually likes watching me doing building games on my channel. So, hey, that's a nice bit of positive reinforcement there. Thank you, Damus. Oh, I don't have enough isotopes for level 3. Don't exactly need level 3, but I can do something about that. And the other thing was my significant other mentioned that they like watching me working out systems because I seem to so enjoy working out systems. So that was a bit of an out of the blue there, that one. But I thought about it a bit, and I thought, you know what? They actually seem to be right. It's that does kind of explain why I tend to like the earlier stages of a game, and I restart over and over, and it's like I'll work out how to get the foundation started, and then if I'm deliberately delaying like playing the game, I'll actually lose interest after that point. That's one of the reasons why it's like I seem to have a whole bunch of unfinished series on the channel because I got distracted, and it's like I slow down because I'm recording this for YouTube, and then I don't continue. So what can I say? I'm an unreliable YouTuber, it seems, but yeah, I just seem to like building games in general. Oh wait, no, this is not the pattern of stuff I actually want on this floor. Because I'm an idiot. That was a build pattern I would use if I was specialising this floor purely to get people converted into nice obedient worker drones. But that's not quite what I'm doing here. I'm going multi-purpose, so I'm going to have habitation pods. These are internal structures. They can house 2 citizens. I'm going to just put monetization stations into here, which is, I think, going to be like that. It's going to have to be like that, isn't it? I've messed up the arrangement a little bit. I'll work it out. So 2 monetization stations. Basically, this is the only source of income right now. Is your citizens just with nothing else to do all day? They go and stand in this little booth and get bombarded with viral advertising so much that they just like they give you money by clicking on the links. It's like YouTube's ad revenue, but turned up to 11, and it's all they can do. That's all they're literally allowed to do with their lives. So it's like very sad, honestly. Prioritize that one, please. It's very sad, but it's also like it's what advertising companies would love to have actually happen in real life. So, you know, dystopian future striking again, but it gets worse, honestly. I'm going to tell them to build a battery there and there. So I'm just getting some internal power storage in this area. Though I might overtax my power generator as well. We're going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, I do need some actual artifacts and things now, so I'm going to claim up and extract some structures. Like I said, that one's a no-brainer. I didn't actually extract you. I'm going to extract you now. I'm going to extract you. I've still got 50 influence. That one's still very painful, but I might need the resources, so I'm going to leave it be for the time being. Oh, that is 2 artifacts for 2 isotopes. Yes, I'll take the artifacts, hands down, no questions asked. And this one's really cheap as well, so I'm going to grab that one. Those are only small structures, but so they only cost 10 per to take them over, but that's fine. So, that's kind of what I'm doing. And with artifacts, I can unlock one of my 2 support structures as well. You probably saw them when I was out on the city screen, but there's a council office and there's a starport. I don't think you will have seen, because you didn't see the ship coming down to deliver my initial workers, because I wasn't really watching that. I was focused on the HQ, but this is the starport here. I have to actually pay 2 artifacts. Let's go back to simple mode. I have to pay 2 artifacts to unlock that, and then I can spend influence with the council to get them to send ships down from that orbital station where we started. And they bring in colonists and resources. There's actually massive amounts of ships coming in from Earth for some strange reason, but that's what's happening. So I'll unlock, and it'll tell me what's in orbit. Like there's a guy with a single colonist, but a bunch of materials and things. If you can't store the materials in the starport, you can upgrade it by spending money, but if you can't store it all, or you don't have enough living space, you can't actually accept a ship anyway. So just have to watch that and see what's going on with it. And then the council hall, I unlock that with credits. So I pay them to actually start dealing with me, and then I can trade with them to get a small amount of resources if I absolutely need it. There's just that initial outlay of extra credits just to bribe the officials, grease the wheels, and get their attention, that kind of thing. Okay, I'm almost out of stored minerals, but that's okay. I just have to keep an eye on the spaceport and hope that they get me the stuff. There's one thing I will do though, which is starting 100 credits. Always, I would say, always spend it on a defensive turret. Because there's no other way to defend yourself if you get attacked by a rebel ship. If there's any rebel camp activity, get the turret first. It is absolute priority. Especially if you're going on a harder difficulty with more attacks. Because you literally won't, you're very unlikely to be able to earn enough... Ooh, 4 straight off the bat. Yes, please. You're very unlikely to earn enough to get a turret and then get the turret assembled and built before you get attacked. But it's just safer to get the turret straight off the bat, really. Now, that said, I'm not actually that fond of how these turrets are implemented in the game so far. Like, I value the level 1 turrets much more than the level 2s and 3s. So the upgraded turrets, I think, for the most part, they are actually worse than the level 1s. Because the level 1s are flat out much better at killing things. I'm not kidding. They are literally much better at killing things. Oh good, you're all up here now. Okay, so these are the people that give me money through clicking on ads. They're just sitting there in monetization stations. They sleep over here. They've got a massive humming power bank in the middle of them, so I'm sure they have a wonderful night's sleep. Though that's so they don't actually sleep yet. I wonder if this game's going to have a day-night cycle. Probably. Otherwise, there's no point in having beds, honestly. But I'm going to do the evil corporate overlord thing and install conversion stations, conversion capsules, which is what I was filling this room with when I built it up the first time. So let's get on to one of the other dystopian elements of this game. Ultimately, what are your workers? Your workers are basically servitors from 40k. They are people or were people, it depends on how you define it, but they've had machinery installed in them and organs and things taken out to make room. And so they are unquestionably loyal and they do your every bidding no matter what. So that's basically what's happening here. And artifacts are actually instances of ancient technology harvested from the ruins and things. And I take this ancient tech, I take a conversion capsule, and I convert my citizens, my colonists, my happy people who are desperate to be here for a better life, stuff them full of machinery, and turn them into my slaves. Basically. So yeah, dystopian. Definitely. Now, there is plans for this to actually cost credits, like compensation for the next of kin, when the economy of the game gets a bit more developed. But whenever you do this, a bunch of waste is generated, and this waste is all the internal organs and body mass that the conversion process tore out of these people to install the artifact machinery to turn them into my slaves. And as you saw, they just stepped out and immediately started harvesting it up like it was nothing. So, yeah. They're ready for unquestioning obedience. Definitely a very worthy cause. But that means I've now got extra people. I've got 7, technically, but each capsule can control 2. So I can convert my other 2 citizens into more drones. Yes, obey me. And then I can try and get some more people down, but the only one available is 18 people. I can't have that many, unfortunately. So yeah. Oh well. But that is how I be a maniacal overlord, and how my people must obey me because they don't have any choice in the matter. Yes. The thing is, though, they were actually generating money. I mean, as you can see, I've got like 200 odd credits. Now, I already got defensive turrets, so the rebels have been slow to attack me this time. I actually got attacked in my previous attempt at recording this, which I failed because it turns out I had my microphone turned off. So, go me. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to open up I think a transport hub. And that'll let me actually get roads and things down. But I have to pay the initial build costs because external buildings, the initial foundations are kind of costly. And for that, I need to extract more material. So, more material we shall have. Yeah, you're okay. I wish there was a way to tag these buildings, like if I see one I really want, I can right-click on it and go, hey, priority, and then it gets like a nice little outline on this saying, you want to pay attention to this one. You've marked it as a site of interest. That'd be kind of nice to have. I doubt a developer will ever see this recording though, so hey. But yeah, this is, I think, a good overview of the basics so far of Industries of Titan, about what there is in it. Let's see. I'm thinking of putting a power relay there, because that's one of my initial buildings. So this is the relay. It lets me relay stuff outside the building, so this would be the start of my power grid. Yeah, I think I'll have one there. Now the people just get the resources from my storage and they'll put it into that and they'll build the external structure. And because I think I'm a little bit overdue for a attack, I'm actually going to claim that and start building a defensive gun. Actually, I'll build it over here. Yeah, just so it has better coverage of everything. I mean, it's got a minimum range, it's got a pretty short range. That's the only real advantage of a higher level turret, by the way. They get better range, but their DPS drops off so drastically it's kind of silly. Yeah. It's kind of, I think it's kind of essential to do this, and it's kind of indicative of the game that within your first 3 structures, I personally always get a defensive turret because it's so darn important. But that's only because the game lets me get away with actually installing modules and things inside my headquarters to get me started. I'll call you down just so I get a bit of extra money coming in. Thing is though, having that turret will actually overtax my power grid completely. I don't have any extra power generation at the moment, so I'm just going to turn it off until I get attacked. That's what batteries are for. But it's one of those structures that also needs me to send a citizen, sorry, not a citizen, a worker to operate it, so I send someone into that and then it becomes active. I might as well show you. On, that alert means it's draining batteries. Send a worker, turret activates. And then that defends me. There, yeah. I'm afraid we've passed the half-hour mark though, so we're going to have to end it there. I am sorry about that, but well, it is what it is. I said upgrade, darn it. Upgrade, yes. Yes. So, as I said, this is the pilot, so just let me know if you want me to... If you're interested in me continuing this series, or if you have any other comments or things you want to ask about, just let me know. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. Look at me, I'm already looking at ruins considering what I want to scrap and salvage and stuff. Oh dear. Ooh, 28 and 7 to 1. That's a salvage one, that, not an artifact one. But yeah, see you all later. Oh, I'm full on waste storage. Whoops.